first heat of the men's 100 metres. Ready. And away cleanly at the first attempt as well. Trey the best to begin. Not far away, Jamal. Right down the outside of Swanee, but Trey's got them beaten. That's comprehensive and pulls up at the end, if you don't mind. 10:28 has absolutely smashed his personal best and is... There is Kelvin Kang. Ready and away. Liao Pai from Vietnam away only fairly and showing good speed as Yaspi towards the inside and coming through as Kang for Singapore. Kang, oh, he just missed out. Bobby Yaspi from Indonesia has just grabbed him. It was level picking with 10 metres to go. 10:45 the time. But Kang will be in the final, no worries about that.
There you have it, Indonesia leading. We do advance to the finals, however, we have Amiruddin and Kelvin Kang. Very exciting stuff. Very happy, of course, that we've made it to the next round. So we have to ask you, because the heats were in the morning, how does it affect the athlete if the events are so far apart?
Actually, I think it's quite good. Generally, 100 meter sprinters when they race in the morning and they have the second race, they will generally run faster because the muscles will be looser, and I think like your nervous system will be like switched on, you know. So, and especially for Amir and Kelvin, they've a lot of experience. So I'm quite expecting that they run faster than how they ran in the heats. That being said, I think everyone will run faster because we saw Eric Cray.
He really held back, didn't he?
Yeah, he was just coasting after the 80 meters.
Yeah.
And then Jirapong, he also kind of switched off, not as obviously as Eric, but I think at last 5 meters. So it's going to be a really exciting race.
Do we think there's any chance that either Kelvin or Amiruddin could medal here, looking at a bronze or a silver? Because we know that the favourites, of course, once again, always the Filipinos, Thais and Viets.
Yeah, I think Eric Cray is probably get the gold medal. I think he might even break the games record. I think so.
Okay.
So let's see. Based on his 60-meter time, he might be able to run a 10:1 something. So that's like wow, that's world class. Amir and Kelvin, they might be able to sneak in a medal, but they really have to run a very careful race because we saw in the heats they started very well. But the people that are contending the medal with them are very strong finishers. Yeah. So they must not get overexcited and push too hard at the beginning. So they need to start fast but be able to push like one gear more after the 50. So it's going to be a really tight race when it comes to like I think the third for bronze. Yeah.
It's really a race to the finish, literally.
Yeah,
quite
definitely.
Let's talk about Thai runner Gerald Pong.
Yeah.
There you go. What do you think of him?
He's the last champion, right? He won the gold in I think 10:47 the last time, and then he has run a personal best of 10:31. He is full of confidence. I think he's saying that it's going to be easy.
Is he? Right.
He did. I think in the press as an
He's hoping for a repeat, probably.
Yeah, he is. I don't think he can win Eric Cray, but I think he is quite a favorite for the silver. He switched off at about the last 5 meters. He started looking at Eric Cray if you saw the heats. So I'm feeling that he might be able to run a 10:35 or something like that. So let's see, unless he was like deceiving us and then he can really go, a 10:2.
Is there a kind of a strategy here as you have the heats as to how much you decide to hold back? Because we were talking before we came on there about how it's the top 3 of each heat and then the best 2 qualifiers. So it depends on the strength of your
heat. Yeah. So like Amir was in a really like in a killer heat. So he had to really
go for it.
Yeah, he had to really go for it. So if you know that you can't get top 3, then you must really push all the way because you want to be like the fastest losing time in that sense. And like I said in the final, if you want a medal, they actually have to. It's a fine balance between starting hard but knowing that you have just one extra gear after the 60 meters, because in a final it's very easy to just go off at like 100% from the block, and then you can fizzle out in the middle of the race. I was speaking to Amir, and I saw him in the last SEA Games. In the last SEA Games, he got a bronze, but he might have got a run better if he didn't start as hard. And he also realized that, right? He said, I shouldn't have gone so hard so that I could have pushed later on in the race. So this race, I think he's wiser, and it's going to be really exciting. But that being said, it's amazing because everyone's running like 41, 42. Then Calvin ran 50 and Amir ran 49. The other Indonesian also, Bobby Aspi, don't count him out. He ran 10:48. So I think everyone's like the bronze and silver are going to be less than 0.1 away, probably.
On that note, in your opinion, do you think it's possible for a Southeast Asian runner to run below 10 seconds? Honest opinion.
A Southeast Asian runner to run below 10 seconds.
Yeah, with training, obviously.
Possible, but I think he has to have the best training, and obviously he has to be talented, like immensely talented, and have the right environment, uninterrupted training for many years, right?
A lot of conditions here.
Yeah, a lot of conditions. I mean, like going to the States and racing, with Americans and Europeans and all that would help. Yeah, it's about continuity, I think, and you have to be a full-time athlete. I don't think, definitely not. You can't like have a job and then try and train.
Would you say? I mean, we've seen Sean Cray there, and he's obviously the most impressive runner we've seen, and he definitely held back. Is he the kind of runner who's got that potential for you? Do you think?
Yeah, but he looks like it. Look at his build and his mechanics. His frequency, the way he moves his legs, it's not really that fast, but you can see that he's very efficient, and the force that he produces on the ground is right. It's quite impressive.
He's well ahead of that field.
Well ahead of the field, and to switch off at 80 and to run at 10:28, it's like amazing.
Reminds us of Usain Bolt.
Just slightly. Now, speaking of you talking about his legs and how quickly they move, the rotation, how do you increase that? How do you speed that up if you're saying that that's his one thing that he doesn't do?
I think a lot of people actually focus on the leg frequency, the turnover. But I think that might be counterintuitive because a lot of us are limited beyond a certain point.
Okay.
So you have to actually look at, I feel at least, that the way you apply force on the ground and your stride, right?
The length of your stride.
Yeah, the length of your stride. So people like Usain Bolt, he's immensely powerful, and his striding is huge because he's so tall. So he doesn't win because of frequency per se, right?
Because he probably ends up taking less.
Yeah, he probably ends up. Yes, correct. So he's efficient because he takes less steps, and anyway, by the way, Eric Cray actually trains in the US. So he ran the first Filipino national record, 10:33, I think, a month back. He clocked that in Houston, I think. So the time that he ran in the heats, just now 10:28, is a new Filipino national record again. So he's very experienced running with the Americans and all that. So I don't think he's going to be overawed by the SEA Games final.
Now, you, of course, are a former teammate of both Amiruddin and Calvin. You won the Asian Games with them, weren't you, in 2010?
2010.
Do you think these guys could even break that magical 10.37 second record that you created?
Why not? They're really talented, and they're really dedicated. Both of them are really focused, and they have so much experience. In track and field, you can never say, right? Point one is.
Well, that previous record had it for 33 years before you broke it. Let's head over now to the Blue Ribbon event. This is the big one, 100 meters final at the National Stadium.
10:48, his PB. The field waiting anxiously to be introduced by our public address announcer. two Singaporeans in the final. There's a little bit of a question mark if Amarud and Jamal would get in, but a very good run in the heat of 10:49, and he's been able to take a place in the final in lane number 3 for Singapore. Kelvin Kang from Singapore was able to get in as well. He chased down Cray in the first heat, and once again Cray is the favourite to win here. Will be very hard to run down. So here's the man, Jamal, who ran down Eric Cray. He was right there, from memory, in lane 6 in his heat, and had to stave off the challenge inside and outside of him, and he was able to run that time. And Kelvin Kang was there to win his heat, and was just pipped on the line by Bobby Ashby, who's about to be introduced from Indonesia. Ashby from Indonesia in lane 5. And here is the man that is expected to win the race. Eric Sean Cray threw us a curveball this morning with his 10:28. That was clearly the best for him. And he's a man with confidence. Confidence personified. From Thailand, Jirapong Minapra. He also chased Cray in his heat. Get a form line through Jamal. Here's Swandi from Indonesia. Theatrical address to the crowd. And here is from Brunei, Akri Ismail. So the stage is set for the men's 100-metre final. It's the event to discover who is the fastest man in Southeast Asia, and they line up. So we have Lee in 2, Jamal 3, Kang from Singapore 4, Bobby Indonesia in 5, Cray from the Philippines in 6, Minapra from Thailand 7, Iswandi Indonesia 8, and Ismail Brunei in 9. You can hear a pin drop at the National Stadium. The anticipation for the men's 100. Ready, and away at the first attempt. Cray began very quickly. Now gets into his stride, fast out wide. Iswandi's coming at him. Then came Kang towards the inside, but Cray is dominant. Cray too good in 10:24. Iswandi might have got the silver, and it's a very good decision for third. But he improves on his heat win, 10:24. He is the quickest man in Southeast Asia, Eric Sean Cray from the Philippines. He dances and prances, addresses the crowd. He was so confident beforehand, and why not? But he's been able to put them to the sword in the final. He eased down in his heat. He had plenty in reserve, and that was a powerful display. Began evenly with the rest of the field, but then really went into overdrive in the closing 70 metres and has gone away. And the more the race went on, he would have continually put up that margin. Eric Sean Gray from the Philippines is now the fastest man in Southeast Asia. SEA Games record of 10:17. He's run 10:24 tonight. But from here on, it was always going to be Eric Cray. A big run by Aswandi from Indonesia on the outside. And what about the run of Kelvin Kang from Singapore? He's trying to hold on for third. It's a three-way photo for third. But I fancy Bobby Yasby from Indonesia, who took out the second heat of the 100 metres, narrowly ahead of Kelvin Kang, and I think he's pipped him again. So, as we run with them, the tracking camera, strong to the line, Eric Cray is the gold medalist in the 100-metre final. As we have a closer look towards the inside, that's Lee from Vietnam. Kelvin Kang would have, at that stage, thought very strongly about a bronze medal, but they closed in very late. Bobby Yasby and also Jirapong Minapra from Thailand. Here's a close-up shot with 2:41 on his bib. And look at the expressions, look at the focus. The great form from Eric Cray. And really putting in the last 10 metres. Great acceleration after an even start. An exciting win. So we will confirm the bronze medalist shortly. But it's no doubt about the winner, a personal best. That time is locked in, by the way. It's been ratified at 10:25.08 outside the SEA Games record. And 0.33 outside of the Asian record. As he drapes himself in the Philippines flag. And you won't see a more dominant performance than that in the 100 metres. The heat win was quite arrogant indeed, and now the final has been another brilliant display. So here is the result from the men's 100 final. Eric Sean Cray, the winner. Gold medal to the Philippines. Bobby Yasby from Indonesia. Aswandi has got the bronze, narrowly ahead of Kang, a PB of 10:40.